Of two children from Virginia Beach back in the spotlight 20 years later.
That's because the man who murdered them is up for parole for the first time since he was convicted. Then on your side's Katie Collett's investigating this case. And Katie, if Shawn Novak was sentenced to life, how is he up for parole?
Tom and Alvita, Virginia became a no-parole state in 1995. Shawn Novak was convicted of murdering Daniel Geyer and Scott Weaver and then sentenced to life in 1992, nearly 3 years before the no-parole law took effect. So, in a way, he's grandfathered into the old law that allows parole. Now, the question is, will the parole board grant him that freedom?
I understand that we have a verdict.
March 9th, 1992, 16-year-old Shawn Novak learned his fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
Novak walked out of court and into a life sentence, and now 20 years later, he has a chance to walk out of jail on parole.
If he's released, he will kill again.
Virginia Beach Police Sergeant Shawn Hoffman was the lead investigator on the Novak case.
This was a thrill kill for him. It was an absolute thrill kill for him.
The image of the butchered bodies of 9-year-old Daniel Geyer and 7-year-old Scott Weaver never far from his mind.
That's something that will always be with me.
Shortly after the murders in 1991, Hoffman interviewed the young Novak for hours until...
I told him, I said, you killed him, didn't you? And he said, yes, I did.
That confession in 1991 led detectives to Novak's home.
Inside, we were able to find a knife that was used to kill the two little boys. We also found a book on serial killers. We found all the newspaper articles throughout the country where he was tracking serial killers.
From that evidence, and because of Novak's police interview, Sergeant Hoffman says to this day he has no doubt.
But Shawn Novak is probably the only one that I've ever interviewed out of probably 15 years in homicide that is a potential serial killer.
Novak, now in his 30s, and a married man of nearly 3 years. Speaking with 10 on your side over the phone, his wife, Christina, says she does not believe he is capable of becoming a serial killer.
You guys don't know Shawn like I do, or his family does, so I don't find that to be founded.
There are some who say this crime that he was convicted of is so horrendous, they say he should never get out of prison. What do you say to that?
Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
But she is hopeful.
And whenever he is able to come home, we have everything set up in place that Shawn would need.
Virginia Beach Commonwealth's attorney Harvey Bryant says he does not believe Christina will see her husband out of prison anytime soon.
And with the members on the parole board, the history of Virginia's parole board, I would be very, very shocked if Shawn Novak gets parole. His first time up, his second time up, his third time up.
He says the reason for that is simple.
Well, the violence of it, the fact that it was capital murder, that it was 2 young children, and everyone should know and believe that in Virginia, if you kill people, you're going to jail for as long as we can keep you there.
Now, Scott Weaver's family declined our interview request, and we were unable to get in touch with the Geyer family. A parole board administrator tells me Novak had his parole interview in May, and while he is eligible for parole beginning tomorrow, the board could take up to 6 weeks or more to make their decision. Katie Collett, 10 on your side.